Alright, so we got some more quad gear. Looking at the Vector Flight Controller / OSD. This is by EagleTree. So I'm going to show you what we got here. The controller, the GPS unit itself. Here's the controller. Nice and small, nothing too big. Casing on it probably makes it bigger than it needs to be. There's the GPS unit. Underneath here, pull out all their extra bits. Okay, so some information, decal. Make sure to take a look at them on Facebook is what that was saying. So here we have the boom and the holder for the GPS unit. And pull out the wiring harness. So no soldering required with this setup here. Literally plug and play. A little bit different than the nays that I have on board on that quad now. Different beast altogether, but still happy to be able to play with it. And there's a little power module, which gives us our amp and reading from the battery, the GPS module, and the controller. So before we can get to that, first things first, you gotta start dismantling. So first we're gonna get the top deck off here. And again, when you're throwing this back together, don't forget a little bit of thread lock. These ones here, you have that little bit of a bite and snap there when you're first taking them off, because I did throw that thread lock on there. Shouldn't have much vibration in your setup, but if you do, this will be a lifesaver. Alright, so we're off. Disconnect the camera. Nice clean shot at most of our gear here. And if you guys followed the series, this naze is relatively new as well. But we're just playing around with configuration, testing out different things. So I'm going to cut off those zip ties, going to free up some of the wiring. Sorry about that, hands in the way. Make sure all our leads are free. And what I use there is double-sided, like a silicone tape to hold the naze on there. So you just wiggle it free. You should be able to pop it off without breaking anything. Keyword should. Sorry, big hands are in the way there. Alright, so the board's off. Just getting the excess tape off. Come on. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, so as you can see, we are free. Take the naze off and make some room for the other controller. Alright, so first off, checking all our wiring is connected. And here we're going aileron. It's well marked everywhere. There's our throttle. Now we have the rudder. And finally the elevator. Alright. So we're connected there. Come on. Aux. And that should be gear. Or sorry, my bad. First one was gear, the next one was aux. Alright, so line ourselves up here. And connect our motors 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So I like to start off with getting all that wiring. I know it's messy now, but we'll clean it up after. We want to make sure we have room for everything here. See, still debating. I don't know if I want to install that boom. Alright, so everything's cleaned up, and I did decide to install the boom in the rear. If you have any issues with it, I'll be changing that up, but I'm pretty sure we're good. So we're going to just fish the camera cable through. And like I said, everything was connected prior. Just do a once over. Get all your zip ties nice and tight. You don't want anything dangling around those props, because that could end your flight quite abruptly. And you can go ahead and reinsert those 6 screws holding that top deck. And once the quad ultimately is built, changing the electronic components, things like that, it's not a big task, as you can see. All of this, ultimately, the hardest part, or the longest part, is cutting all the zip ties, but you can bang something like this out in less than probably 20-30 minutes. Alright, so we're all done. You can see my battery unit on there. Alright. It looks a little bit bulkier than usual, but again, just test. We might go back to the nays, might go to CC3D, but I'm just sharing the experience with you guys. So everything's tucked in, got a nice room, bundled up that wire on the boom. See, that's big. I'd like to find a better way to set that up, but it'll do. Make sure that GPS is lined up, TX is not in the way. Looks alright. Bundles of wire, but like I said, they're all zip tied, so they're as neat could be. So we are almost ready for a test flight and do maybe a little bit of configuration on the computer, fire that up, and we'll be back at it soon. Guys, thanks for watching. Please thumbs up and subscribe.